Hello, people of New World. It's me, Lemoni. Happy Monday. And today I've got a video for you to help get your days and weeks right in New World. Today, we're going to be focusing on time efficiency and what you can be doing every day and every week, whether it's an hour of game time that you have or a couple hours so that you can get the most gold, you can get the most umbral shards, the most gypsum orbs, and everything else in terms of resources, and ultimately prepare in the best way so that you can be efficient with your New World time and get ahead of the competition. Now, before we get started, check the links below, Discord, Twitch, all that stuff. But I also have a partnership and sponsorship with Madrina's Coffee now. So you can use the code Lemoni at Madrina's Coffee for 20% off. Right now, they do have a Black Friday sale running. So go get those savings, go get that coffee. I know you'll love it. I'm a huge fan of their whole bean coffee. It is fantastic. Now, let's get into the video. So what can you be doing to optimize your daily play? Well, we're going to start off by focusing on just 1 hour of time and what I would highly recommend in that 1 hour and what you can get done so that you can really get the most out of your New World experience. And then from there, I'm going to talk about, okay, here's some other things you can do, or here's what you could kind of finesse into this 1 hour period, depending on some time constraints and whatever and what have you. Now, there's a lot of things on this list and what we can be doing. It's going to involve gypsum. It's going to involve different ways to make gold, crafting, dungeons, PvP, general chest run experiences, all sorts of things. But what can you do in the sense of optimization so that you log in, you do your things within this hour, your regular things, then you go along, continue with your day. Or maybe you only have that hour. What are the things you need to get done so that you can stay ahead and stay good and really make the most out of this experience? All right, so I'm going to do this in chronological order in the temporal sense of what you should be doing. When I log in for the first time of the day, I do two things. I either, one, look to see if there's a brimstone set of chest runs going, or two, I go to do arenas. I'm going to queue up, and honestly, it doesn't matter if you win or if you lose. The benefit of doing an arena is just unmatched. It takes less than 10 minutes, so I got 2 arenas done in about 8 minutes, little under 8 minutes. And I get 2 of my garnet gypsum so that I can make 2 orbs, and then I get some gold, and then you get some of that PvP XP so that you can then use that to either buy more gold, random legendaries, named legendaries, or you buy faction tokens to then expedite one of these other processes with faction tokens to buy gypsum orbs later, and it just makes everything easier. So I log in, do these right away. It's super simple. Who cares if you win or lose? It's just free. Okay, once those are done, or if this is where you're going to start, we are going to be doing Brimstone Sands chest runs. Now, these are fast. It's only 3 or so locations, depending on what you want to do. And these are very, very, very valuable. The ones we'll be doing, look for a Great Wall group. You'll be looking for a Heliopolis group, and you'll be looking for a group to at least do cast. So those are the main 3. Now you could also include beds if people are talking about Scorpion over here, and that's a really fast one. The goal of this is to do not a giant 2-hour world tour, but to get efficient and get gear, name drops, random legendary things for crafting, all sorts of materials that are going to net you a ton of gold. But also we're going to dig into gypsum here. So instead of going to the old spot in Ebon Scale going over here, we've made videos on it, people make videos on it, and you're like, hey, I'm going to do my obsidian and topaz. We're going to get those done while we're doing this chest run. I can easily get all 3 of these done in less than half an hour. It's pretty much turn your brain off, do this, and you are going to net some serious profit over time. So what we'll be looking for is obviously topaz and obsidian gypsum. You will have to make a topaz potion at the Arcana station before you start, but you'll get it done very, very fast. Just make sure you X up and join a group. You will be looking for a bunch of things from the mobs there, the bosses there, the chests. When we're talking about the actual enemies, there are a lot of really great name drops in Brimstone Sands that are completely BIS. But there's also a lot of just general items, legendaries, purples, greens, and blues that you can now salvage and get some serious return if you start to look at the infused fragments that you'll be getting of all different sorts and varieties, leading to more gypsum, leading to gold opportunity, or even just some materials that we'll use in a different section later. When we're doing this, we can also be getting different runes in Brimstone, different crafting materials, weapon charms, armor charms, things to put perks for rolls, but golden scarabs, which sell, or you can use for running a 2-perk roll. There is pretty much anything. And then again, there's always that potential of what if you just got something that is completely BIS from PvE. So it's an easy little spend of your time to get 2 of your gypsum orbs done, as well as get a lot of stuff that could make you better or just give you more gold. In general, too, you'd be able to get 3 gypsum if there weren't an event going on because you'd be able to pull diamond gypsum from chests. I know chest runs aren't the most exciting thing, but Brimstone looks good, the enemies are neat, and there's just a lot of potential here. So definitely go ahead and do that. That puts us at about a 35 to 40 minute start of your day. So we still have 20 minutes. What else can we do to really maximize? I'm going to count this one outside of our general first hour, but you could do a Merc Guard chest run. You'd be getting bis items, crafting items, things to sell, and you'd be getting amethyst gypsum. You do only get 5, so you'd have to go to other portals and do something to get those, or you could just make your amethyst orb every other day. Is an option, not one I typically do. It's brimstone that's probably way more efficient, but it is just another thing. It's kind of where you can start to choose some of your directionality in your day. This could also be a supplemental thing you do outside of your first hour, depending on what's going on your server. For the sake of this edition, what I would do next is get my diamond gypsum. I can do this in about 5 minutes. I go over, find a spot where there's turkeys, because this one is event bound. So it depends on what's going on currently in the game. Again, we'll give updates on this. But best spot I've been going uncontested is Great Cleave. I can run over there, skin all the turkeys with the special knife if you want to, or not. You'll still get 3 of the gold bags to make just a little bit of coin. You'll get your diamond gypsum. You have potential of getting random foods, all that. It's completely uncontested here. Just find a spot to kill some turkeys and farm those up really fast. Note that right now at this event, you can get 6 diamond gypsum, so you can make 2 orbs out of it. That won't always be the case, but take advantage of it now. Again, here's another supplement if you want to do this. It'll take outside of the first hour, but I would farm up 5 turkey lawns a day, again, event specific, to at least get your turkey legs. These have long-term gold potential and people will spend bonkers amounts of money on them, so take advantage. You also get some cool cosmetics, a cool trophy, and other turkey-related things. Take that with a grain of salt, but if you want to add that into your daily rotation just right now while an event's happening, definitely go ahead. Okay, now these last 15 to 20 minutes are kind of up to you and how you'd like to spend them. Ultimately, you could do everything if you really wanted to, but depends on how much of a gamer you are. If we're looking at it, no matter what, you should try to do your 3 faction missions a day. This is like a free 1,000 gold, but the real big thing is these faction tokens. You can get these faction tokens through other avenues, like I said, through potentially doing arenas, or if you were to do like an OPR and get some faction tokens and then spend the XP, but that's if you're lucky. But consistently, what I would do is either find a spot where you like to do your faction dailies. You could just do the 3 PvE ones because you could teleport all over. But if you really want to start to optimize your time, I go to the various spots where there are expedition missions. So that means you could go to Shattered Mountain Outpost and go over there and look to see if you can pull as many of the Tempest Heart missions. I wouldn't do Tempest if you're trying to optimize time. You could go to Reek Water and try and get Lazarus missions. And again, you could try to get the 3 pull by resetting all of your quests and continuing to come back. This is what I did in Brimstone. Pop into the town, see if it has the daily quests. If it doesn't, reset. If there's one there, pick it up and then reset the other ones, and then just keep going until you can get a 3 pull. Then you could just do a expedition to get all 3 of them done, which will give you the most coin, it'll give you the most tokens, and it gets you another gypsum. Nonetheless, get your 3 dailies done in some capacity to get your 2 free orbs. These orbs are going to translate into like 800 shards or more expertise. Now here's the synergy. You could turn those daily missions into another gypsum if you have more of a PvE emphasis to what you'd like to do. You've been getting your mission prep in. For these 15 to 20 minutes, you could put together a quick group, speed run it, get all 3 quests done, turn them in, and now once you've done Genesis, Ennead, Lazarus, you then will get your Sapphire gypsum. You can get 2 of these a day, and then you can make a new orb. You'll get, again, potential of bis drops, crafting materials, name drops, whatever. So if you want to optimize in the PvE sense, you can then get your Sapphire and all that stuff and your gypsum orbs in that manner. Now, it might be a little bit shorter in most cases than an OPR. Again, depends on how it goes. But this is sort of the PvE or PvP branch. Either way, you will get 1 gypsum. I think if you want to be more consistent, you go the Sapphire route where you just run a quick expedition so that you don't have to worry about the faction tokens if you were to just gamble it on the potential of getting PvP XP and relying through OPRs to get that done. Let's say you're more of a PvPer and you're just like, hey, in these 15 to 20 minutes, I'm just going to say screw it. And instead of doing anything else, I'm just going to do an OPR. You can do up to 2 OPRs a day, and if they're fast, you could in theory get 2 done in 20 minutes. You then get PvP XP, you get some tokens for finishing, and you get 2 more gypsum. You can then spend that PvP XP on gold items or those faction tokens, and then use the faction tokens to buy your orbs. So there's 2 orb potential that way. You also get some potential of bis items from the chests, and you can salvage those items for the infused materials, which we'll talk about in a second as well. Either way, in your first hour up to this point, I would do 2 arenas, then do your little chest run session, And then you can choose whether or not you want to do your faction missions. If you want to just do the, hey, I'm not going to put in that much effort. And if you have those last 15 to 20 minutes, then we'd go OPR expedition. But then you'd also do one more thing. And this is going to lead into a daily and weekly set of rotation that could net you the absolute most gold possible. Okay, so what do? If you are a New World gamer, please spend the time to get all of your refining things up. That's stone cutting, weaving, smelting, woodworking, and leatherworking. You can do your daily cooldowns to make all of your things like Asmodium, glittering ebony, runic leather, phoenix weave, and then you do have runestones. Runestones, there's a little bit of a caveat too. With each of these, if you have the trade skill specific gear, or if you farmed it up, or if you just got lucky, use it. If you get bonus crafts, it's worth. So you have two options. This involves sort of a weekly prep if you have extra time. I know there's a bunch of people out there who have told me this. They will actually take all of their mats, put it in a little bit of a list, and determine how much leather they need, how much stone they need, or calcum they need, wood they need, whatever, and then get that each week so that they can just easily craft this. Me personally, I just buy everything. So you still will net profit, even if you don't get bonus procs on everything except runestones, but runestones, again, caveat, we'll talk about those in a second. And that's just free gold. So you could make a couple thousand free gold a week just flipping your mats, or you can flip it into gear rolls. Again, talk about that in a second. So put on your gear, craft all that stuff. Now let's talk about stone cutting. Stone cutting is a special little one. Personally, you could just craft your runestones to get some aptitude potential, because if you get those containers, especially level 3, you'll get sometimes like 6 to 10 gems and a bunch of other random stuff, and you could benefit from that. So you do lose a little bit. You also may benefit if you were to get the bonus proc. If you were to get a bonus, like 1 or 2 bonus procs in your runestones, you'd pretty much even out depending on the price, or you could just farm this stuff up yourself. Either way, I think farming or just buying the runestones is probably better, because we're wanting to craft the stopwatches. Stopwatches are free. If you have stone cutting gear, you have bonus proc potential. And so what you can do with that then is you can roll it into crafting. So if you have maxed out armoring, you can go 595 to 600. At the end of the week, we can take all of those and roll them into something cheap, like say gloves, just light gloves. It'll automatically do a con roll. We'll put resale on them, and you never know what you're going to get. Maybe you're just going to get a crazy roll, and then that flips into 100K. Even if you're getting okay 2 perk rolls and you get a couple of them, you can sell those all for more than you would have if you just sold your runestones or those crafting materials that you put into it, as long as it's a cheap roll, like something like gloves, boots, anything like that. Yes, this is a little bit of a gamble. I think that's the fun of New World crafting and trying to hit the jackpot with some of this. So regardless of whether you just sell everything or do all this, you're going to be getting things that have jackpot potential. Is it a high chance? No. But when we're starting to do things that are just very simple, every day will build up. So if you look at something like this crafting session we're doing, if you got any bonus proc, and I've gotten up to a runic leather that procs like up to 15 when I'm super lucky. You get any bonus procs, and then you think, okay, if I just got 1 bonus proc of anything for 7 days, that's 7 more things I can sell that I didn't actually put the crafting materials into. That's just free income, especially if it starts to get into like the Asmodium territory. Think, what can I do in 1 day and repeat it? That doesn't take much time over a 7-day span and maximize my output. And with all this crafting, we're bound to get an emerald gypsum. If you don't, just cook 100 hearty meals and you'll get it somehow. Now, when we are all said and done, there's one other thing I want to touch on, and that's infused orbs. When we do, let's say we've just done the regular stuff. So we only did our chest runs, or we did a quick dungeon, or just random drops that we found. You can salvage any bad legendary drop, name drop, blue, green, or purple item. And there's 2 different types of infused things we're going to get. We're going to get the purple ones, and we're going to get the potential of legendary ones. Those purple ones, we can either turn into trade skill XP, or what you can do is use it to make some of your daily craft, because I can't sell those ones. For the legendary ones, depends on what it is. Like the armor fragments one, I can simply just turn those into Asmodium if I wanted to, or I could sell them on the auction house, or I can turn them into more gypsum orbs. So you can craft 5 extra gypsum orbs a day on top of the normal 9 that we do, if you wanted to even just buy all of them from the trading post so that you can get more shards or catch up on your gypsum. It's a nice little catch-up mechanic. Now, I will say some of them, like the jewel crafting one, are a little bit expensive, so be cognizant of that. But if you want to put in that little bit of extra gold, if it's like 1,000 gold or anything a day, I personally think it's worth it. I don't do it every day. If I have some of this extra stuff, there is some income potential if you start to look at like, okay, what if I extract, or if I do X, Y, or Z? So you can use your creativity for that. But be aware of that one as another supplement to your daily routine. So you've done your chest run, you salvage everything. What can I do with the purple and legendary fragments that I've gotten after doing it? There's a ton to do in New World, and I think a lot of times people think they have to be playing 24/7 to keep up to date. If you can just do small things over time, you got some luck, or even just be consistent, you're going to be on top. So we'll be ready for the rest of the week. We're going to have a lot of videos this week. Expect lots of build stuff. I have some new updates and things I want to talk to everybody about. But again, I got that Madrina stuff going on. Check the link down below. Go through, hit the Discord, hit the Patreon. Patreon, we're going to start to have some exclusive stuff. We'll start with some of that tomorrow. But there's all kinds of fun things going on. Hit the Discord if you want to talk to me directly or anybody else, ask some questions, or just hang out in the community. We want to revamp the Discord a bit. Lots of exciting things. I'm just glad to be back. So as always, thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you to every single one of you beautiful people for being you. I hope you enjoy New World this week. I look forward to connecting with you. And I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for all of us. So take it easy. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye, 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 bye.